We are live. So, repeat greetings from Odessa. Hopefully, it is not too loud in this cafe, as I explained on yesterday's live stream, where I was wearing these AirPods. So, apologies for the audio quality on that first live stream on this geopolitics channel. I don't have regular electricity in my apartment to Russian energy strikes. Well, Russian rocket strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, and as a result, I don't want to do these live streams in my apartment in case the electricity goes out and I have internet. Also, using a hotspot isn't strong enough in my apartment anymore. This was not the case in the past until a few months ago. MAGA politicians in the U.S. Congress managed to delay that aid package to Ukraine long enough to allow Russia to pull up a lot of Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Thank you, MAGA. I'm sure there is in Moscow. So as a result, the electricity is the worst it's actually been since the beginning of this extended invasion 2022, ironically. So that's why I'm doing it in a cafe. I've managed to link up my mics here, so hopefully it's a bit better today. Which you're not seeing the chat. Maybe if I extend it out, it'll show it to me. Okay, so I won't be able to see the chat here. I'll have to maybe look at it on my phone. So today's live stream, obviously we've had the big, not really shock. The first live stream I did allude to it, which was that Joe Biden was expected and did in fact pull out of the U.S. presidential elections for his re-election. With this around here, let's see if everything is reversed. You see, and yeah, so it was made official last night. So how is this going to affect this country, Ukraine? I'm going to give a short overview of my thoughts. I know this is a new channel, so not too many people are subscribed yet, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I will be posting a lot of content from on the ground here in Ukraine. I think give a unique insight to what's going on. I have a background in international relations, World's Best School or University for International Relations on top of this School of International Studies, speak the local languages here, Ukrainian and of course Russian, and worked at the European Commission while I had a little bit of professional interaction with the Ukrainian and Russian energy sectors at the time, so things like that. And I've been here, obviously, on and off over the last 5 years. In particular, I was the entire time during COVID in Ukraine, and then I evacuated at the beginning of the invasion, 2022. But I have spent maybe almost half my time since then here in Ukraine. And this is on a separate channel. Obviously, I'm not expecting so many people to tune in yet, but as we move on in the coming weeks and months, the audience should grow, and this should be a good place for us to discuss the situation here in Ukraine. I'm obviously on the ground, I'm actually in Ukraine, which is different than most people comment on this war. So if you're planning to come to Ukraine, down below in the description to this video is a link to my guide that I just wrote for my fans. It will give you an overview of all the logistics about coming to Ukraine, how to keep safe possible. Obviously, don't have a layer with your safety. Obviously, there's an increased security risk if you come to Ukraine with the war. You will not be allowed to go to the front lines. It's not like you're going to be heading to Bakhmut or something unless you have permission. Ukrainian authorities won't let you go that close. But say you're coming to a city like here in Odessa, or say Lviv, or to my mic again here. To Kiev, Uzhhorod. I also have a hospitality, guys, the best cafes, restaurants. There's so many new places opening. So even if you were in Ukraine a few years ago, one of your favorite places, some of your favorite places going to be closed. I wouldn't say all of them or most of them, but a few have shut down, and are a lot of new places. So this will save you a lot of time as well. So down below in the description of the video, there is a link to that. So two main points about Biden now dropping out of the race is his replacement candidate likely to win? Is that good for Ukraine, or is Donald Trump in an unassailable position to become president once again in the US? And second of all, what will happen in the interim before a new president is inaugurated in January? We'll see the same policy that the Biden administration has pursued over the last 2.5 years, which is basically support Ukraine so they don't lose, but they are not supporting Ukraine actually militarily, or supporting militarily to material to actually win the war against Russian military. That is my hypothesis, that's my contention. They are not providing that kind of support. In fact, Biden never properly articulated the goal was actually to win very clearly. So Jake Sullivan is cited as the figure in the Biden administration who is the architect of that escalation management policy, which is what they don't want Russia to collapse is the most important point. Because then they're worried about loose nukes, maybe Russia firing off a nuke before as it collapses, and maybe China grabbing the east of Russia and taking its resources, although Russia is basically selling resources from that region cheaply to China at the moment, to India. So China doesn't really need to bait it to get what it wants at the moment, it seems. So that these are the two things I'm going to address in this presentation. And then there will be time for questions. So I don't expect too many people to be here live. Actually, there's an issue with my computer, so I can't even see right now. So I'll have to go and look at my own channel here for the question part. But anyways, let's start. Again, there's a few other links below. Go check them out, especially if you're coming to Ukraine. You have to spoke, or maybe once you spoke advice I have. He's been on my program, so I'm actually best and the guy is here with me now, and we are going to go to Chisinau next week. So also I'm writing a Chisinau, writing an email sellingspace.com. No, there's also a description and just put in the subject line both guide. Both guides retail for 35 euros and US dollars. So Biden has withdrawn. He will stay president, at least that's the current status until there is a new president or inaugurated in January. He may, of course, decide to resign. But for now, Kamala Harris, he had given his endorsement. Kamala Harris, she is, I guess, the favorite to become the candidate for the Democratic Party. She will now select the vice presidential running mate, but that has to be all approved by the Democratic Party. She is, in fact, going to be their candidates where there is a chance that that doesn't happen. Is this good for Ukraine or not good for Ukraine? Biden has stepped aside. I think it's safe to say that although Kamala Harris, the frontrunner, is not that much more popular than Joe Biden in the opinion polls, Joe Biden didn't look like he had much realistic chance of winning the election before he withdrew yesterday. He was given a 70% likelihood that Donald Trump is going to win, but I expected that to grow, barring some black swan event for Donald Trump. He had obviously problems with his cognitive ability, especially in that debate with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's assassination attempt, which again boosted his ratings, maybe only in the short term, but clearly that had a positive effect, especially the fact that he stood up after being shot at and switched the air, so it looked like heroic, and we have some iconic photos from that event that boosted his chances again. So the fact that Biden has stepped aside and means that Democratic candidate winning the election is probably slightly more likely than if he'd stayed on. Not dramatically more likely. We'll have to see in the coming weeks how a new candidate, once that candidate was chosen, how they perform in polls in the US elections, because they have the electoral college. It means that there's kind of like mini elections in all of the 50 states, and then each of those states has a weighted number of electors who go and vote. But basically, the long and the short of it is getting more votes in a Democratically secure state like California, or in a Republican secure state like I guess Missouri is definitely going to go Republican. for example, well, getting more votes there wasn't going to make any difference in the election. It's not a bloodless where a vote where they add up all the votes across the country, not the country wins, have to win enough states in this weighted electoral system. So that means there's only somewhere about, I think the swing states are about 11 or 12. So it's only those states that matter, and those will be the key approvals to watch in the coming weeks and months to see if there's much of a difference. Donald Trump has been very worrying in his rhetoric with respect to Ukraine and to NATO. If you are Ukrainian or European in general, he was very negative on NATO, which is a security alliance that provides a U.S. security umbrella for Europe. Although even if U.S. left, it would be France and UK that have significant militaries and nuclear weapons, but it would be a significant blow. And we're not sure what he is likely to do, if he would be willing to withdraw. That security umbrella, he has indicated that off the cuff remarks, which is very concerning. And then when explicitly Ukraine, he does not instill confidence that Ukraine is going to solve the war in one day. And I mean, the only way to solve that is basically throw Ukraine on the bus and force them to surrender. Whether Ukrainians, whatever agrees that, I'm very skeptical about. I don't see that happening personally at the moment. We'll see as we get closer to the election. I guess after the election results, then maybe that will become a bit clearer. So, from a point of view, someone who supports Ukraine, Donald Trump is the very bad choice in all likelihood. Democratically, is more likely to support Ukraine and Ukraine at least surviving without having to put a very weak position by sacrificing territory, which will have a huge number spillover effect for European security. It will reward imperialism, and that will only encourage more imperialism. China invading Taiwan, also Donald Trump has made overtures that he's not going to Taiwan potentially if it's attacked. So he is not seen positively if you are supporting Ukraine. Same time, Biden administration has this policy of escalation management, which means they did not push for Ukrainian victory by arming Ukraine sufficiently in late 2022 and 2023, when the war could have been run when Russia was in disarray. And they've done that, then probably this war would already be over with victory, but they were scared of the consequences. Are concerned about the consequences of that. So the first thing is to answer whether Kamala Harris, very hard to know her personal opinions, but it is very likely that she will continue to support Ukraine a lot more. It seems that Donald Trump is going to do, so that's not. Donald Trump might change his mind once he's elected, of course. Russia under the bus, who knows? But I think that's very likely, and especially just to show you the attitude within the Trump family. His son, Donnie Jr., just pull it up, my phone earlier. I didn't see this clearly, but he made a very disconcerting joke. It's going to come out properly. Posted it on my Instagram. Operator Starsky and took a screenshot. He's making a joke about basically the expensive Ukrainians wanting military support to defend their country, not get killed in an attempt to genocide by Russia. So he is, very bad taste, and it kind of demonstrates the attitude of part of the Republican Party and obviously the MAGA Party. And Donald Trump's on side making those kind of comments. It doesn't bode well for you. So basically, anybody but Trump, I wouldn't say anybody. Marjorie Taylor Greene probably worse towards Ukraine than Donald Trump, presumably. But of course, we also have the vice presidential pick by Donald Trump, which is Vance, and he has been one of the cheerleaders against supporting Ukraine, only to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that's the ticket. It doesn't look good if Donald Trump is the candidate that wins in the end for Ukraine. So basically, Ukrainians would take anybody, almost anyone else, to be the leader of the US at this point, but with a few minor exceptions. The second thing is what is going to happen with escalation management. Will now that policy change? Now, this is a big possibility, I think, that a few reasons. One, it's not clear if Biden will stay on until the end, and I guess if Kamala Harris actually takes over as president before, of course, I guess that's what would happen. She may change that policy. She may even replace Jake Sullivan. So that policy may change. They may she may actually have interest in seeing Ukraine do way better about them really ramp up Ukraine as much as possible and even try to get stuff through. The Congress scandal that might be difficult because the Republicans will support that. If it's like they have a Democratic candidate, probably not. But let's see what happens. So I'll be optimistic about that. And even if Biden stays on, at this point he's not running for election, and the argument for escalation management probably is reduced because, well, if there's going to be presidential elections, if Russia's going to do something mad if they think that Donald Trump is likely to become the next president, he's sympathetic to them. So that probably removes some of the risk of escalation in mindset and that policy, and they can always reverse it anyways if Harris or the Democratic candidate is elected. Of course, so I expect the escalation management strategy to change a bit, policy to change in the coming weeks and months, which is good news for Ukraine. So overall, it's a long shot for Donald Trump not becoming the next president at the elections, and it increases quite dramatically the chances that the U.S. will actually increase support for January of next year. So both those things are good for Ukraine. So that's my contention that Joe Biden dropped out of the election when he had realistically very little chance winning. He was also way down in the polls in the swing states. So you kind of need a Hail Mary at this point, where I think it's better or worse for a America overall is kind of irrelevant. It's up to the electorate to make that decision. So that is my live stream from Odessa today. In the future, I will be, when YouTube allows me, I'll be able to go out with my phone and do the live streams and do them. And I will do a series of interviews here in Ukraine with people who are involved in humanitarian effort, in military effort, a lot of amazing, crazy stories from former soldiers. What I got planned on this geopolitics channel, and so I'm going to appeal to different audience from the lifestyle in Europe, because a lot of guys, well, I get the impression that my audience for that and are realistic trying to move to say Poland or the Baltics are not really so interested in the geopolitics in Ukraine. Some of my clients are, they do follow both, but I've decided to separate out because a lot of people are just probably new followers I would get, I'll be able to reach, who are not interested in moving to the region, but one are presumably interested in supporting Ukraine, and maybe some people are curious and going to challenge their own beliefs about it. They will also then come to this channel. So I will look and see if there's any questions. Unfortunately, because there's some issue with my laptop. I hate this whole laptop thing. But this is what YouTube is forcing me to do the live streams on. But yeah, I can't see the questions for some reason. It's very annoying that. But let me just go and see if I can see my own channel here. So hold on a second. See if I can actually stream myself. Can I see? Okay. There are no questions right now. I know it's obviously most people right here are still asleep, so you will probably watch this on replay. So write your comments down below what you think. Is this good for Ukraine that Biden dropped out? What do you expect? Do you still think Donald Trump, the Trump plans to take a win in a landslide in November, and that what do you think that will be good or bad for Ukraine? Obviously, I give my opinion, and whether you think that policy by the Biden administration, if it's not even going to be a Biden administration, it's going to be a Harris administration pretty soon, whether that will change in favor of Ukraine, or maybe you think that will change in favor of Russia. So write me your comments down below. I hope the audio was better on this one, this live stream than yesterday. It was, of course, also a Monday afternoon here, so I wasn't expecting on this new channel for many people to come to the live stream. I will, as I said, be making content from here on the ground in Ukraine, both in Odessa and other parts of the country. We go forward, and just to give you a little update, obviously, I explained the reason why I'm doing this in a cafe, because the electricity situation has been bad for over a month now in Ukraine, and it's not likely to improve anytime soon. We will see. Ukraine is waiting for more air defense in terms of Patriots. I don't think they will risk rebuilding a lot of energy infrastructure until they have better air defense. And we're still waiting for the F-16s to appear. right over 2.5 years. Again, the age of Ukraine was not rushed. When the coffee is always amazing here in my favorite places in Ukraine. In Odessa in particular, it's one of the best coffee in Europe, in my opinion. Coffee, you probably don't care about that. So hopefully that improves and they figure out a way of repairing and replacing a lot of that infrastructure for the winter time. It has been very hot here. Over the last few weeks, it's been basically between 35 Celsius and 40 degrees every day. It's crazy. We've had very little rain. It's been great weather here in Ukraine. And yeah, there is that dichotomy I talked about that we have Europe's worst wars since World War II. But at the same time, people get on with their life as much as possible. And there are lots of new places opening, cafes, restaurants, bars here in Odessa. So you have that dichotomy that you can come here. If you are thinking of coming, those are the main types of people who come. Are going to help with the humanitarian effort. Maybe some people are doing a military effort to defend Ukraine. And even if you're not going to go into either of those, then consider coming. Just don't be, as I said, don't be cavalier with your safety. You understand that there is a war, there's a risk of a Russian rocket attack. Kamikaze drone attack. You may be in the wrong place at the wrong time, so you have to factor that into your decision. Just come here, spend your money in local businesses, then you will be the Ukrainian way and document your trip here so that, amongst your social circle back home, that it keeps Ukraine and the reality ground in people's minds. And you can maybe if they're watching, well, they're probably MAGA supporters hardcore, then they're listening to Russian propaganda all day. And, from you're mocking Ukrainians when you defend the country like they kill. It's absolutely, his comments are disgraceful. This is so yeah, it's kind of the attitude, I guess, in much of the MAGA discourse. Any more between the kind of larger generation than obviously Sonny Jr. They seem a lot friendlier with America's adversaries than with America's friends. Quite bizarre. Quite disconcerting if you're an American, that's a set of part of the elite. It was similar-ish in the late 1950s, early 40s. You had American First grouping. It didn't get as much influence as the American First crowd today, but it basically wanted not to support the United Kingdom to defeat Nazi Germany. It seems mad today, and they wanted the peace with Hitler. They wanted the UK to make peace with Hitler. It seems mad, right? Like what were they thinking? Then there was attack in Pearl Harbor, obviously, and those people just became politically irrelevant overnight. But America ended up fighting in a war from a weaker position than would have been the case if they had been more assertive beforehand. And they did continue to support the United Kingdom, even the Soviet Union, with enormous amounts of material out. Way less in GDP per capita than they do now supporting Ukraine against Russia. It's just Russia, one, is not the superpower, military superpower that it claimed to be. Fortunately for Ukraine, it also has a pretty strategically competent leader, Vladimir Putin. Again, thankfully for Ukraine, in particular, he has such a corrupt regime in charge that so much of their resources get wasted, which again is great from a Ukrainian perspective. Thankfully, he's not anti-corruption minded. Thankfully, he's not competent in terms of his strategy. Otherwise, Ukraine would have been in a lot more trouble. But we do need to get as much material support from its allies, not just the United States, also European allies. It's up for Germany. Has actually reduced support this year versus the previous year, and that is again disconcerting. Some countries look like they're going to be very long-term core allies for Ukraine, like Poland and the Baltics, because they have obviously borders to Russia through Crimea, so with the rest of Russia, and they have a big incentive, so they don't want to be next on. Well, they wouldn't be next, but they want to be in the future. Probably Moldova, some other place in the former Soviet Union. Would be the next place. Like, or maybe it's going to be Finland. Who knows? Maybe we'll try something, or even that Svalbard island up in Norway. So, yeah, that is my live stream from today. Lots of great things to come on this geopolitics channel. I'm super excited to bring an audience here of people who are primarily going to be supporting Ukraine. Let's be frank about it. I don't think too many people from Russia bother watching a channel that is not exciting Russian talking points. That's just the bottom line. They will go and they will look for that somewhere else, and there is a fortunate audience for it. So With all that said, if you're coming to Ukraine, stay safe when you're here. Hope you have electricity and water and everything works, but definitely plan for that contingency that it might be as was a few months ago. And yeah, as I said down below, my guides for the best way also to support the beginning of this politics channel. And if you're interested in Moldova, also just write me an email, comment@sarahsexperience.com in the subject line, Moldova guide, and those will retail for 25 euros or 38 US dollars. And I will see you on the next live stream. До побачення, з Одеси, Україна. Слава Україні, героям слава, до